NDP Leader Jagmeet Singh is outlining some of his party's election promises. Paying for their pledges will hinge largely on taxing the ultra-rich, a group the party now defines as Canadian households with assets of more than $10 million. That's down from its previous benchmark of $20 million. Leader Jagmeet Singh says they're the only party willing to do this.
Really, if that is not the plan, if it's not going to be that the billionaires pay their fair share, we have seen what happens. Governments have done one of two things. Either they cut the help that people need, or they put the burden back on the very same workers and families and small businesses that suffered. We are the only ones saying it does not have to be that way. If we make the ultra-rich pay their fair share, we can invest in the things that people need.
And many pieces of the platform are reminiscent of promises made in 2019. They're calling for the creation of national child care, pharmacare, dental care programs, fully paid sick leave for workers, and a small business recovery package, affordable housing, high-speed internet, and a cell phone service, and a national action plan for reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. Let's now bring in Anne McGrath, NDP National Director, in this conversation to discuss the election speculation buzzing around today and, of course, what Jagmeet Singh had to say earlier today. Anne, good afternoon and welcome to CTV
Hello.
News Channel. It's good to see you.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
So let's make a start with what Reuters is reporting today, that the possibility of election September 20th. The Prime Minister is expected, according to that information, expected to go to Rideau Hall on August 15th. Your take on this date?
Well, we've been talking about this for months and months and months. It's been very clear that the Prime Minister and the Liberal Party has been wanting to have an election, and they've just been looking for the opportunity to do it. So it's like the worst kept secret in Ottawa, for sure. I think that we've been doing election timing speculation stories really pretty well the whole year so far. And, you know, I think that there are a lot of questions about about the timing, about why have an election now. Certainly, I think the Prime Minister is going to have to present some kind of a reason for why we are doing this. It's not because he's lost the confidence of the House, just passed a budget. Did he really mean to do the things that were in that budget? Or was that just a setup for the election as well? So I think that he's going to have to answer some questions about why there is an election being launched right now, while we're still in a pandemic, while a fourth wave has absolutely taken hold.
So, Anne, let's talk about the NDP in greater detail. I will not ask you what the party is promising because we just went through that entire list a couple of seconds ago, so we know what the program really is. But let me ask you this. How do you think this election can benefit the NDP and Jagmeet Singh?
Well, I think we're going into this election, despite the fact that we don't believe it should happen, and we've done everything that we can to stop it from happening. We are going into this election in a strong position. Jagmeet has done an excellent job as in Parliament, and Jagmeet and the entire NDP caucus have been really focused on getting help to people during this pandemic, and have been able to force the Liberal government to actually step up. When the Liberals promised a $1,000 a month CERB, we pushed it to $2,000. When they wanted to give a 10% wage subsidy so that people could keep their jobs during the pandemic, we pushed it up to 75%. So all the way along, Jagmeet and the caucus have been pushing for the focus to be on how to help people get through this pandemic, how to protect people's health, how to address some of the incredible problems in healthcare, like in particularly long-term care, and get profit out of long-term care, so that the motive in long-term care is no longer profit but people, and how to pay for those things. I think we've been very, very clear on how to pay for all of the promises that we've made, and we've been pushing for expanding the healthcare system with pharmacare, with dental care, and now more recently with mental health being covered. So I think it's been very clear that we go into this campaign with a record of accomplishments, because Jagmeet and the caucus have been so successful in all of those things. So that record of accomplishments really will stand us in good stead, I think. We also have excellent candidates stepping up to represent us in ridings across the country. And, you know, it's a bit of inside baseball, but if you look at the trends in public domain polling, you will see that the numbers for the party have been going up, but more importantly, I think you will see that the approval of Jagmeet Singh as a leader, as a very well-respected and admired political leader in this country, those numbers have been off the dial. His approvals have been consistently the strongest. He is recognized as honest, hardworking, authentic, and in it for people.
Right, and after listening to you, NDP seems completely ready for this election. We'll have to leave it at that, though, Anne.